Good evening and welcome back to Johnny L Reacts. Listen, we got something different here for you, something I've been wanting to do for a little while now, and I'm going to do it. I'm going right back to The Last Jedi, the most hotly anticipated film of 2017 around the world and for myself, big Star Wars fan here. And I was very excited to watch The Last Jedi. And I did watch The Last Jedi on opening night on December the 14th. And immediately after the film, I came and I did a reaction video, or a review actually. Spoiler filled, all the way spoiler. And generally positive, you know what I mean? I felt impact in the theater. I was remembering the moments that I enjoyed. And yeah, there were things that I didn't like, but I was putting them into the background and generally giving an objective, you know, what did I just see? Was this a good film score? And I thought it was. And, you know, and then since then, there's been quite a bit of fallout. You know, in fact, I've never seen anything quite like this. I've never seen a film polarize fans in quite a way, in quite this way, where you see so many people liked it. In fact, the majority of people really liked it or liked it with caveats, with issues. And then you have a section of fans, a section of people that disliked it, and they're firm in their dislike. You know, very divided here. The Rotten Tomatoes score here is very indicative of that. Sitting here, it was at 94% certified fresh, has gotten to 91%. That is an extremely high critic score. The audience score, however, the gap between the audience and the critic score, 51% on the audience score. Okay, which is pretty low. Now, there's thoughts about you know, how realistic that score is. You know what I mean? Then you have the idea that the verbal minority, you know, fans that hate something or dislike something are going to be more motivated to go online and voice their opinion as opposed to someone that liked the movie. They're not going to be, you know, I liked it. It's like they're not going to go online, create an account, rant about how much they liked it. You know what I mean? The motivation isn't there. You know, but that also contradicts the Cinemascore. A Cinemascore isn't rated quite the same way. That has an A rating, similar to the Force Awakens Cinemascore, meaning that they polled fans as they left the theater what their reaction was. And again, that was generally positive. But, you know, there's no hiding the fact that this film has caused a real stir with Star Wars fans and fans that aren't Star Wars fans that wanted to see it. But really the more hardcore community, you know, the fans that have seen these films and they're waiting to see certain theories answered and waiting to see certain characters go off in a certain way. 2 years of debate, 2 years of trying to figure out what was going to happen from The Force Awakens, what was left by J.J. Abrams, so many storylines and threads being thrown out and created, how Rian Johnson was going to deliver that. And there was real debate about what, you know, how, if he did at all, or what he did. What did he do? What is this movie? I'll tell you just quickly personally. I've seen I went to watch The Force Awakens, again, opening night. I remember I left the theater thinking, I really liked it. But, ooh, I was torn up inside. There was things I had a real problem with, you know what I mean? And then I remember the second viewing, I remember thinking to myself, don't score a film after the first viewing. It's too emotional. You're seeing things too new. It's too new. Watch it again. So I watched The Force Awakens again a couple days later, and I really liked it more the second time. You know what I mean? I was more in tune with who they were, what they were doing, what JJ's vision was, and I grew to appreciate the scenes. You know, in fact, things I missed, you know, subtleties, they made more sense to me the second time around. So second viewing in that case was positive. It gave me a better perspective. With this one, it's interesting because when I left the theater, I really enjoyed it, and you know, but with issues. And then I went and I did a second viewing. After watching it again, the more that I peel away the onions and the layers of this movie, the more I start to dislike it. You know, there's things that I just, and that, let me just bring that up again. I liked it, but there were things I disliked, and these things I disliked are starting to get bigger and bigger. And I'm starting to have more and more an issue with them. So for this second viewing review, which I've never done, I'm going all out with the black. I'm donned the one black glove in honor of Luke. In honor of Luke, The Last Jedi, Return of the Jedi. But is he the Last Jedi? Yeah. So, you know what? I'm going to touch on a couple of things quickly. What a cliffhanger JJ left us when Rey was handing the saber to Luke at the end of the film. Luke looking at the saber that he's had throughout, there's so much impact throughout the years, in the original trilogy. And there was a feeling of, you could see emotion in his face. And then we get to The Last Jedi, and he takes that saber, and this moment that we've been waiting for 2 years, and he just flicks it behind his head. Ryan, boy, did you fumble the football on that one. I mean, what were you thinking? I just have to say, what were you thinking on that? Like, you could have done that a million different ways and not have disrespected the character, disrespected the fan base by showing so much of a lack of respect to that moment that had been built up and to the saber itself. Really left a sour taste in my mouth. I disliked it in first viewing. The more I think about it, the more I hate it. That was just a bungled move, I gotta say. Where else do I go? The Porgs. I like them. I'm pro Porg. General Hux prank phone call, Poe Dameron. I don't know if anybody liked this, okay? And I remember watching some JJ responses later on. He responded to fans, to criticism. And he's like, you know what, guys? We're going to have fun here, okay? I know this is serious material, but we're going to have fun here. Really? Here's the thing. We don't want to have fun, okay? Take this material seriously, okay? Lawrence Kasdan, George Lucas, and J.J. Abrams introduced comedy a certain way because, yes, Star Wars has a lighthearted nature to it, but it has to be done right. It has to be done well. And that, my friend, was a swing and a miss. Boy, did that moment fall flat. And you know what? When moments like that fall flat, it resonates throughout the film. You can do 2 hours of greatness, and then you do 30 minutes of mistakes, 2 hour, 30-minute film. It's enough to ruin things. It's enough to ruin a movie, to spoil a mood, to spoil a tempo. And it was poorly done. I don't understand what he was thinking with that. Moving on here. You know, one thing that is not being brought up is people's reaction to Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren, I thought Adam Driver did an unbelievable job as Kylo. His story arc throughout the film, I think he did well. There was moments of levity that didn't work, and it takes away from his aura, his power as a villain. You know what I mean? You didn't see Vader joking around, or not joking around so much, but being involved in lighthearted moments where he throws, Hux away or acts a certain way, or a shirtless scene with Rey. I mean, it's taking away from him as a villain. And is he a villain? Well, I mean, he has to be. You need a villain in this film. That's how you create these. You need to create. Well, once he destroyed Snoke, he became the ultimate villain, or at least his version of a villain, his vision for the galaxy. And it was poorly done. But the thing about it is he destroyed the helmet, right? Because you think of Kylo. Yes, I know he's unmasked. He's got the scar, but he also had the helmet in The Force Awakens. Now, walking around without the helmet, it really humanizes him. It takes away from his aura, his power. I'm not saying he has to always have the helmet or always be without it, but when he goes all the way without it, like Ryan chose to go, we're looking at him as Ben Solo, Kylo Ren, the conflicted villain who's not developed. And that's dividing the fan base right now. Is he dark enough? What's he gonna be? Then you go back to Luke himself on the island. Here's the thing is, you have the 2.5 hour movie, you have Luke and Rey moments. The moments of Luke and Rey I thought were very well done. I wanted more of that. We all wanted more of that. I felt like there wasn't enough of that. You see Luke and going to Dagobah, getting training from Yoda. You see development. You see him lose to Vader, even after, because he wasn't ready. Yoda warning him, he wasn't ready. Get his arm cut off. But it all comes too easily to Rey. It just all comes too easily to Rey. And you know what? There's a sexist, there's a feeling out there in the Star Wars community and in fandom in general that's coming too easily to Rey. You know what I mean? Calling her a Mary Sue, for lack of a better phrasing. Is Rey a Mary Sue? And they don't. Ryan, Kathleen Kennedy, Star Wars, Lucasfilm, Disney. You're not doing her any favors when you show these powers come too easily to her. You know, we don't want to paint her in this light because I like Rey as a character. I think she's fantastic. I like Daisy Ridley. I think they cast her perfectly. But it does all come too easily to her. We wanted more training on that island. I heard that there are scenes that Ryan had to cut out of the film to make way for Canto Bight, Finn and Rose, side plots, Poe Dameron, side stories. Admiral Holdo, her role, her ridiculous role there with, you know, the coup d'etat. They don't. She's not explaining the story to the rest of the resistance, the rebellion. We needed more character development. We needed more Rey and Luke. We needed more. Watch the trailers again. There's moments you see Rey running with a saber, but beautiful moment in the rain, igniting the saber in the rain. That's not even in the film. Where is that? We need. Apparently he's got another hour of footage, right? So we cut it down to 2. But the problem is he edited out the wrong stuff. Another moment that fans have a problem with. Luke does not properly acknowledge Han's death. In fact, it's not really talked about enough. You know, this is a big character. You know, yes, he died. I'm not saying he had a whole film where his character arc rose and fell. You know what I mean? And, you know, there's debate about how that was done, but I don't think it was the worst way. I thought there was impact, there was gravitas there in The Force Awakens. But, you know, Luke says, "Where's Han?" I mean, like, and then cut away. And I mean, I felt like there needed to be more there, more acknowledgement of that. You know, that's a friendship that he's been just told that Han Solo had died. I don't know. Look, I'm not going to go too crazy, but the Leia Mary Poppins scene, I like seeing the Force being used in a certain way. I like seeing Leia being shown to have Force abilities. That could have been filmed differently. I just think Ryan did not film that scene well, and it made it look like a farce, like something to be made fun of. Instead of respected and awed, it's turned out to be a joke. So, I mean, that's a swing and a miss on Ryan there. Not filmed well. It looked campy, okay? Kylo Ren Force connection, I thought that was fantastically done. But another problem I have with that is Kylo and Rey, when they're talking to the Force, I thought that was some of the best stuff in the movie. But then, initially, and then the more they spoke, and now they're cutting to him shirtless, and he's like, "Can you put a shirt on?" She is. And it's like, you know what? Again, Ryan, you take us out of the moment. You build a beautiful moment, and then you need to introduce something that is meant to entertain us. I don't know. Entertain little girls. I don't know. Get kids laughing. I don't know. Get the crowd laughing. I don't know. But you know what? Even the critics that like the movie are complaining about these moments. Clearly, this was a mistake. Oh boy, where else? I'm just gonna touch on a couple other moments. Listen, guys complaining about bombs dropping and elements of space battle, semantics. You know what? Get a life. That's all I have to tell you. That's not a reason to hate a Star Wars movie. This is fantasy, okay? This is not science. This is not physics on display. This is a fantasy space opera meant to entertain. And you know, even the Force is not defined a certain way. Maybe it is an extended universe, but up on screen, you know, in canon, directors have a bit of carte blanche with some of this stuff. I don't think that's a reason to hate a movie. We need to relax about that stuff. When we're talking about hypersex and stuff, everyone needs to take a chill pill there, okay? There's an entertainment at work here. I'll touch briefly again. Rey, Snoke, Kylo Ren, some of the best stuff in the whole film. The throne room scene was fantastic. It was beautifully done. Snoke, we needed more backstory explanation. Who are Rey's parents? We needed more backstory explanation. Things that JJ had set up, they ended up falling flat. Will we see them in episode 9? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But at the end of the day, and how Luke was portrayed, you know what I mean? I don't want to call him a coward, because in the end he stepped up to the plate and he gave his life to save what was left of the rebellion. So at the end of the day, guys, this one's dividing me. I'm not going to score it. I'm just going to tell you that this movie was good. It could have been and should have been so much better. Thank you for watching.